Hi everyone, in this contract trading tutorial, we'll cover isolated margin and cross margin. First, let's see how to modify isolated margin or cross margin settings. First, head to the contract trading interface in your TruBit Pro app. Then, click on the isolated margin position in the upper left corner to see the options for switching margin modes. The platform's default mode is isolated margin. Note that it is not possible to switch between isolated and cross-margin modes when holding positions. So, what is the isolated margin mode? In this mode, traders can set margins for each position individually, allowing each isolated margin position to have its own independent margin, isolated from the other trades. Moreover, if the margin of an isolated position falls below the maintenance margin level, the system will execute a liquidation, where the user's maximum loss is close to the total margin of that position. However, users still have the option to independently add or reduce the margin of that position. Let's see an example. For instance, if user A has 1,000 USDT of margin in their contract account and chooses to use the isolated margin mode to open a position with 10x leverage using the entire 1,000 USDTs, the margin required is 100 USDTs. Even if the position faces liquidation, user A's loss is only 100 USDTs, which does not affect other trades or the remaining unused margin. Since we are using isolated margin mode, the position's tolerance to price fluctuations is relatively low, increasing the likelihood of forced liquidation. Now let's talk about cross-margin mode. Under the cross-margin mode, all the margin in a trader's contract account is used to maintain positions. Additionally, if the margin assets of different positions are in the same currency, the unrealized profits and losses in cross-contract mode can offset each other or be used as margin to open new positions. For example, if user B has 1,000 USDT of margin in their contract account and chooses to use the cross-margin mode to open a position with 10x leverage using 1,000 USDTs, under the cross-margin mode, the margin used is the entire 1,000 USDTs in the contract account. If this position eventually faces liquidation, user B's losses could be the entire 1,000 USDT of margin off the contract account, potentially affecting other trades as well. Because we are operating under cross-margin mode, the position's tolerance to price fluctuations is relatively high, decreasing the likelihood of forced liquidation. Lastly, in this table, we summarize some key aspects of cross and isolated margin for you to compare. Thank you for watching this TruBit Pro tutorial and see you around in our next video.